Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Polls 2024 with me, your host, Seema Mustafa. This is As Journalists See It. We are focusing on Karnataka today, which has had one round of elections, another coming up tomorrow. But by the time this video is on, it would have been in the past. So we have two very senior journalists with us, both based in Bengaluru. There is Tyagaraj Sharma and Vijay Grover. They are on the ground, they know what is happening, and thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
So we will start with you, Mr. Sharma. Tell us, we know that there are 28 seats, right, in Karnataka Lok Sabha. Last time, the BJP really maxed. It got 25 seats. The Congress got one Lok Sabha seat and the JDS got one Lok Sabha seat. And I think one went to a BJP-supported independent. So that's the thing. They've actually maxed already. How are you looking at the elections today now with the Congress government in power?
See, it's a very fascinating position today because almost since 2 decades, Congress hasn't had a double-digit number, right?
Right.
So now last time it got just one seat. So assuming obviously it's going to get, even if it gets one is almost 100% increase over the previous one. But this time it looks like it's a tough fight between the two parties. And what is probably helpful to the Congress would be its guarantees on the ground, right? More importantly, I think it's also crucial for the Yadurappa family, for the Gowda family, right? Because Gowda, this is existence of the JDS would survive depend on winning or losing this election, because Gowda is 91. His father, and Kumaraswamy, you cannot actually accept him to do anything major in terms of revolutionizing the party, nor does he have any more influence. Everything was his father. Now, the old man is obviously not in a condition to do anything. So if Kumaraswamy wins, he probably gets inducted into the Union Cabinet in the event the alliance wins. Otherwise, you can say that he will be there, but without being any force to reckon with, right? It's also important for Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah, because Shiv Kumar would want that the Vokaliga belt should do well so that he can put forward his claim again for becoming chief minister. Whereas Siddaramaiah would like a better performance in Mysore, Kodagu, Chamarajanagar belt, where OBCs are large in numbers. So it's also an internal fight, so to say. But essentially, it's a very crucial for these family. Family politics will become actually extremely important during these elections. And
right.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So Vijay, how do you see it? I mean, apart from the family dynasties which are being written about, do you feel that the Congress is a little bit better position and the BJP will not be able to max?
Seema, one of the things about the highlight of Karnataka elections 2024 is dynasty politics. And why I say so is, while Tyagaraji referred about the Devgowda family, he referred about the Yediyurappa family, we have a situation where 19 out of 28 Congress candidates are kin of somebody who is in the party. So clearly this is something which is about dynasties and not one or two dynasties that we are talking about in terms of Karnataka, because it's a very surprising and a shocking issue which has actually demotivated the Congress cadre also. I mean, you have a powerful minister or a leader whose kin is contesting elections this time, and that is something which has demotivated a lot of Congress workers on the ground, because they feel that they've been deprived of opportunities as far as being in mainstream politics, political elections was concerned. But the important thing, as Tyagaraji also said, is that it is about the future of JDS. At the moment, the ground situation is the JDS voter is confused, because somewhere down the line he feels that it's the end of the road for JDS. H.D. Kumaraswamy going to parliament may actually be harakiri, in the sense that he'll be away from state politics. He will not be in day-to-day involvement in the party over here if he's going to be a member of parliament, which he'll obviously be because the kind of clout he has in the constituency. So this is something which is big confusion. And in the first phase, which is the Vocaliga section, the shifting of the JDS vote is going to decide who will gain at the moment, because the JDS voters, they've been sizable. They've been 12 to 13% even at the last count, as far as parliament elections was concerned. But half of them may go to the BJP, half of them may go to the JDS. That is something which is the biggest dilemma that the voter on the ground, and I'm talking of uninfluenced voters. Vocaligas are, that way very clear with their caste consciousness. They're very clear about, whom they need to vote. So whether it will be DK Shiv Kumar who will snatch them away from the JDS, or will it be R. Ashok or Ashwat Narayan from the BJP who will be able to shift the JDS voters. So that is something which is going to be very interesting to see, as to, one of the biggest caste and one of the most influential caste of Karnataka, which side will it vote,
They will
and
go.
that could be the shifting.
So before I go back to Mr. Sharma, in the first round of polling, was there any indication of how this vote bank has gone, the JDS vote bank?
Well,
See,
see, as
as
far
it's very difficult to say which side they will go, but as what is happening is the fact that, for example, in the last elections, Sumalata had won by 7 lakhs, won by over 1 lakh votes over her nearest rival, that was Nikhil Kumaraswamy's son. So imagine if both those votes also come to him, or even the JDS person, that could be a substantial influence as such. And this apart, the Vocaliga votes, those who are siding with the JDS, could also get transferred to other parts of the state, right? So I do not know how much it would influence the vote, but it will play a big role. Importantly, what is important is here the fight now. Devagowda's son-in-law Manjunath is contesting against DK Suresh. Now it's a very, very powerful opponent to contend with. And while JDS claims that he does not have the money to actually prop up this thing, though Manjunath is fighting on a BJP ticket, nevertheless, it's going to be a very good contest to watch. Though I suspect I know what the outcome would be. But still, it's going to be a good context because Manjunath has a good image. He is a novice in politics. So maybe that could be a bit of an influence. More importantly, Kumaraswamy himself contesting from Mandya. Now, unfortunately, what has happened is Sumalata, who had won last year, we know the background that she's not contesting this time. She never attended his meeting last time, yesterday and the day before also. That could prove a big setback to the Mandya for the JDS. And they're very, very disappointed. And apparently, from what I understand is they've already spoken to the BJP about this. Not that anything can be done now, but that has come as a major setback to the Vocaliga of JDS under Kumaraswamy now. So those are very, very crucial.
Right. So Vijay, to stay on the subject of dynasty, since it's so important, which party is carrying most of the, dynasts in their fold? Which party has got the heavy brunt of it? One. And two, why has it turned out this way? In the sense, why in Karnataka you have a majority of candidates who come from these families? I don't think it's true in other states.
Well, see, as far as, dynasties are concerned, certainly, we've seen in Karnataka politics, it's been a very crucial role that, every politician has groomed his or her son or daughter, and that is something which is a part of, the political scenario. Now, this time, as I told you earlier also, 19 out of 28 Lok Sabha constituencies will see kin of some Congress leader who will be contesting elections. So this is something which is, very shocking, as I told you, because the morale of the party workers goes down every time, because in the JDS, we had a similar situation where you would see Revanna, Kumaraswamy, their kids, Nikhil or Prajwal being the main contenders. And even now, if you see, the JDS is contesting the 3 seats, and one of the JDS family, CN Manjunath, is contesting on the BJP flag. So this is something where, questions are being asked now as to whether merit, does it have any qualification to become a MP, or, just because you have to be son or daughter of somebody, or brother of somebody, or brother-in-law of somebody to become an MP candidate. So this is where the Congress is going to suffer a lot, because the morale of the party workers is down. If they had maybe fielded at least in some more constituencies deserving party candidates, it would have been better. But the defense that the Congress leaders say is that, the kind of money that is required, not many candidates are able to put up until unless they are the kin of the families from the thing. So clearly, it's a big ticket game, and that is what is going to be influential. How the voters accept these uh, descendants or dynasts, that is something very crucial as far as this election is concerned.
Yes, I just want to correct when I said that it isn't seen in most of the other states, I meant the southern states, because it's obviously a northern bug that has come and bitten Karnataka. Yes, Sharma, you were saying something.
Just one point I wanted to make here, echoing what Vijay said. This time what happened was the Congress wanted most of the sitting ministers to contest, state ministers. Most everybody refused, because apparently either they thought they might lose, or they didn't have the money or wherewithal. So that is why you find also one of the reasons, not the only reason, that you will find large number of people, relatives, etc., their kin, etc., are being put up, right? Now, there were cases where even initially the Jarke Holi and his family, they were not interested, but finally they managed to convince them. So that is also one of the factors which is also leading to the fact that they have kin of these people. And Yadurappa family, we already know, their two sons are already in the fighting, etc. Now, at least Raghavendra is fighting, as the other son is the state unit president. Most of the top positions are actually grabbed by them. But the other aspect is, because imagine now, a candidate is allowed to spend about 95 lakhs on this election, right? Now, how many people will you and I can't afford to do that? Forget even the politician. So where do they go? They go back to where the bank is actually, that is all big shots. Suresh is worth 500 crores, right? And Kumar Swamy's opponent Chandru is worth 600 crores. Now, where does that type of money come from? Nobody will know, right? Nobody can ask. But you and I cannot, a common man cannot contest or cannot dream of contesting. So that
money power now, yeah.
That tells you what the situation is.
Right. Vijay, to go back to an earlier question, is that today, with the fact that you have a pretty powerful and happening duo leading the Congress, Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar, is that going to play out on the ground? Are you going to see any difference in terms of the Congress performance?
Well, see, one of the things, what I will say has given impetus to the Congress campaign is the guarantee scheme of the Karnataka government. 2023, we saw the way the Congress party went around, tom-tomming its guarantees, the 5 guarantees which have been implemented also successfully. That was something which was the game changer as far as 2023 elections were concerned. And we saw a repetition of that in Telangana as well, where the 6 guarantees were brought in by Revanth Reddy following the success of the guarantee word with the Karnataka elections. This is where the Prime Minister also, after that, we started seeing Modi ki guarantee. And, the way he's, built this entire narrative in the last 3 months, after seeing the success of the Congress in Karnataka and Telangana, it was hijacked by the BJP and said, rebranded as Modi ki guarantee. So now the fight is about the guarantees. Which guarantee will the people accept? Will it be Modi ki guarantee or will it be the Congress guarantees? That is something which will be very crucial. Now, as far as Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar, they certainly do not have the best of relationships between them. They don't have the chemistry to bond together and to be able to deliver things. But that could be still something which may not play out in this election, because clearly the people who have benefited from the guarantees in Karnataka expect that, if this is transformed at a national level, we see the Rahul Gandhi's latest pitch of 1 lakh rupees for women from crores of families. That could be something that could be an extension of the guarantees that were spread or used to win Karnataka elections. So clearly, this is something where we see that now people are talking brass tacks. People are talking that, look, this is what is the deliverable to me. It is not the 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees that I get for voting which way or this way or that way. It is clear lump sum benefit that comes to me. So when Rahul Gandhi says that 1 lakh rupees will be given to the women, it works out to about 8,000 rupees, and in his words, as he said, taka tak, the money will fall into the bank accounts. That will make waves. So clearly, as far as Karnataka is also concerned, we are seeing that people are making a shift. So even despite the friction between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, the Congress stands to gain. And as you said, that the BJP is already maxed it out, and there's nothing beyond that they can expect. So clearly, somewhere down the line, the Congress feels that it will definitely do a much better performance than the one Lok Sabha seat it got from Karnataka. And what will be the number? Certainly still a guess, but clearly the Congress is on the upswing as far as Karnataka is concerned.
Right. Mr. Sharma, I noticed one thing in what Vijay said. He said, is it going to be Mr. Modi or is it going to be the Congress? He didn't say Modi and Rahul Gandhi. Now, do you see that playing out in Karnataka as Modi and Rahul Gandhi, or is it Modi still pretty high up on the national equation?
I would say yes, because I won't take Rahul Gandhi in the picture in Karnataka, because as the guarantees have worked, etc., they would like that. The only thing which is troublesome for me particularly is this freebies that they're talking about, 1 lakh rupees, and even giving jobs, promising 30 lakh jobs, etc. Now, we have had a situation where we had public sector undertakings where large number of people from different political parties used to flood their people and get them jobs in the public sector undertakings. And end result, what happened? Public sector units became a drain on the exchequer because nobody was working. Now, where are they going to get those jobs? Virtually, there's a big disinvestment in public sector undertakings. Where are they going to get those jobs? So that is something, a big worry for me. And even otherwise, I personally feel that if you give freebies to people, unless they are productive, it actually becomes a big, big problem. If not for immediate government, successive government, it could be a problem. Interestingly, in Karnataka, the tradition-wise, the ruling party, state government in this thing has not managed to do well in the Lok Sabha, right? Last time we had an alliance, JDS and Congress alliance, we know what happened, right? Earlier also, Congress, if I just tell you, because in 2004, Congress just got 8 seats, whereas BJP got 18 and Congress got 8. In 2009, Congress got 6, BJP got 19, and again 2014, BJP got 17, right? Now, 2019 got 25. Now, if that be the case, where are you going to get the seats? Therefore, only encouraging factor for the Congress would be these guarantees. And the guarantees, I'm sure, will play a major role in helping the party do a little better than what it has done earlier.
Right. So is it true? I mean, these kind of reports that sometimes reach Delhi journalists. Is that Vijay? Is that the Prime Minister has lost his sheen somewhat, and the great response that the Yatra got and Rahul Gandhi got has also helped cut into that? Is it true?
Oh, well, Seema, yeah. One of the things, if you remember the 2023 campaign, when there was in the Congress manifesto line called, ban on Bajrang Dal, which was immediately, capitalized by the BJP at that time, hoping that it would trigger, some kind of agitation in the people's mind by linking it to Bajrang Bali. And we saw that, the Prime Minister
Yes.
made a lot of noise about Bajrang Bali in the last phase of the elections, and somehow it did not work. In fact, it backfired to some extent because uh, Karnataka is not like North Indian state where communal tensions run high. People don't get agitated or do not come to, friction levels that easily or, in a wide scale as it would happen in a North Indian state. This time around also, we saw day before yesterday, the Prime Minister made in his speech the kind of words that he used, one against the Muslim community, and in another speech he spoke specifically about Karnataka mein Hanuman Chalisa भी नहीं पढ़ा जा सकता, referring to an incident of clash between a shopkeeper and a few of the Bajrang Dal Karyakartas, where it was said that uh, somebody was reading Hanuman Chalisa at the time of Azan and he was beaten up for playing out the Hanuman Chalisa,
Yes.
which was denied by the member of Legislative Assembly, Uday Garuda after a few days, after which the tension got diffused because the MLA of the BJP himself said that it was not Hanuman Chalisa which was being played, but some other song, devotional song which was being played. So there was no reason to, make communally sensitive remarks on this. After that, we saw MPs like Tejasvi Surya or Shubha Karanlaje back out of the protests which erupted in that region. But for the Prime Minister to come later after 4 weeks and make that statement again, certainly it did not make that kind of, ice. It did not cut ice with the people of Karnataka, because
Okay.
you do not expect a Prime Minister or a head of a country to, make these kind of, politically diabolic statements. And that's something which at least the educated class certainly does not expect and does not accept it as well.
Okay, interesting. Do you agree with that, Mr. Sharma, in the sense that Karnataka is sort of isolated from the communal politics being stirred up largely in the north?
Yes, 100%, because by and large, it's been a peaceful place, except for occasional problems, issues that have arisen. But what is important, which I've been talking to a large section of techies in the city, and I was pleasantly surprised that majority of them feel that they're talking in terms of development, that the country needs development, therefore you need X, right? And we are going backward in terms of guarantees, etc. So I do not know how much influence the so-called techies will have, because 90% of them do not go and vote.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all right to have talk about all this over a cup of tea or over a beer or something, but go down actually to vote, I don't know. Right. But yes, Vijay is right. Comparatively, we have been peaceful, but we have had situations where it could have triggered off a bigger thing, like we had this case in Hubli, etc. Luckily, they had better sense. It was diffused to some extent. But yes, it's a very tricky thing. And I'm actually surprised that the Prime Minister was using certain expressions, etc., which doesn't behave a person of that position in that position. So to that thing, it leaves an unpleasant taste in your mouth.
Okay, so one is the guarantees, which you all have spoken about, and the guarantees also include jobs, etc. But Vijay, is joblessness, if you talk of all the issues, which is the highest for Karnataka? Is it joblessness or what?
Well, see, as Tyagaraj, you very rightly said, development is something which is very key. And, I have monitored this campaign over the last 20 days very closely, speaking to, especially in Bangalore, a lot of people. Now, one of the concerns that the citizens have of Bangalore, especially, is we are going through a heat wave. We are going through the worst water crisis in 4 decades. And we are now at a situation where we do not know whether, uh, what is the future awaiting us in terms of the infrastructure, because traffic jams is a daily mess that we face. Poor
Right.
infrastructure is thing. That's the reason why the Congress campaign of devolution, that every 100 rupees that Karnataka contributes, we only get 13 rupees back. And that has had an impact on development of infrastructure in a state like Karnataka, where we see, the metro rail is taking never-ending time to be completed, because the state government does not get the money from the center as far as, it should have actually come back. So this is something where every politician during his campaign missed, maybe except one, Mr. Rajiv Gowda, who is the Bangalore North candidate for Bangalore North from the Congress. He was the only one who spoke about reference to the fact that, development and infrastructure are the important aspects which we need to focus on. We need solutions to, the infrastructural hazards that we have, because we reached a state where, the city is on the verge of dying. If you don't have water, the city starts dying, like Cape Town is dying in South Africa.
Right.
So clearly, we are at that kind of a crisis. And, where is the solution for it? It is certainly not in the Hindu-Muslim. It's not in, the 5 kg ration. It is not in the 200 units of electricity. I'm saying that, freebies may not be the best thing to do. But there are some things like, which give an impetus to life. That is where, we saw incident where a student garlanded Siddharamaya with the free bus tickets she had accumulated over the last 1 year. And that is something which certainly, because, the messaging in this is very clear, and the whole of Europe is doing this. Is, as far as public transport is concerned, you need to encourage public transport, and we're seeing most of Europe has gone to free public transport. Why? Because it reduces pollution, it's better for the environment, and
Yes.
all the traffic congestions and these things. So,
And when they do
there
it,
are freebies, but it has to come with a solution at the end of it, and that is something which is more important.
right. So I think we've got a pretty good idea of what to expect in the coming days and the end when the votes are counted. But I'm going to make you guys stick your neck out, if at all, and tell us. We can start with Mr. Sharma. How are you going to see the final results in terms of tallies?
Normally, I don't fall into this
Don't
trap.
give numbers. Don't give numbers. But what do you see? Do you see
I-
the end of JDS, or do you see?
I see one. If at all, I have to take a call at it. I would say it's a balance going to be 50-50. And I will be surprised if JDS doesn't do well in at least one of the 3 seats that it is contesting. Right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
beyond that, I
That's fair enough. That's
right?
interesting. Yes.
The only thing is, issues in assembly elections are different and issues in Lok Sabha polls are different. So let us be very clear. And when we are talking about freebies, etc., and most of the freebies, free bus passes, etc., have been used by women who have been going to pilgrimage centers, not as much as one would have liked them to use as such. Anyway, this is just as an aside.
But I just before I go to Vijay for the last word, I want to ask you, Mr. Sharma, why aren't you talking more about Modi's charisma in these elections?
It's a parliamentary election, right?
That's why.
That is, I think that is the only reason. Because see, when Modi came last year during the assembly, he talked about Bajrang Bali, etc. Fine, it did attract people had come here, etc. What happened ultimately? The party didn't get any votes, right? It failed miserably. But you don't know what happened at the national level, because national level they're talking about development, and those educated people know what they want, in the sense that they believe the development is the essence of growth, etc. Other things can be forgotten. Right. If there is development, you will not probably have communal rights. You will not have it. That is the thinking.
Right.
So I personally feel that could be one of the factors which could also play its role.
Okay. Vijay, final word from you.
Okay. Seema, I would just want to split it into 2 things.
Yes.
Even if I were a voter for India Alliance, what happened at the beginning of the alliance formation, the way Mamata Banerjee broke off, the way other parties broke off, the way Aam Aadmi Party decided to go on its own trip and say that I'll contest all the 13 Punjab seats. Now, this is one factor which is deterring a lot of even India Alliance supporters and voters to vote for the Congress, knowing very well that the Congress is not in a circumstances where it can lead an alliance. Because, if there are questions being raised that will the Congress be able to even get 100 at national number, what is the point in sending 20 MPs from here? So this is as far as, that is concerned, that there are questions. But as far as, the BJP or the NDA alliance is concerned, certainly voters who have made up their mind that they need to vote for the NDA because they voted in the past and have seen the kind of development that is being spoken about. For them, most of it is a vote of thanks for the Ram Mandir and the 370 and the other issues. This is as far as hardcore NDA alliance voters are concerned. But for voters who are confused, or the fence sitters, I would say, clearly this election, there could be a tilt away from the NDA, because that is something where we are seeing that actually nothing has changed as far as infrastructure is concerned. The videos of railways, the videos of, the kind of uh, unemployment, protest in Bihar, UP and all that, they somewhere register in the mind. So while BJP still holds the edge as far as, the 28 seats are concerned, it could walk away with about 20, I would say, or maybe 18 at the worst phase kind of a thing. But for the Congress, from 1 to 5 or 7 is certainly something that will ensure that they have a better presence compared to what they had in the last Lok Sabha. And that's where we are now seeing this polls spread out to as far as Karnataka is concerned.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you. It was so informative. And I think I'm walking away from this interview very well informed. Thanks a lot.